Hey everybody, welcome to No Excuses, and I'm your host Rodney Arbona, and my special guest is Al Sapienza. How are you, Al?
Nice meeting you, Rodney.
Nice meeting you too.
I'm full of excuses, but
yeah, we're going to try to change that for you.
Excuses.
I don't know why I have your card right now. It's actually a really cool card because the cutting room is an excellent place to have a venue. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Frankly, in New York City now, this place probably, unless you're at Madison Square Garden, it has the best sound system. It's that place was built with tender, loving care by Steve Walter and Josh Gasparo right after Elaine died, when they got kicked out of their old place. And Mr. Big, Chris Noth, is involved and owns it. There's nowhere like that in Manhattan. It's like, in a sense, it's like the old Copa.
And you also have people who were founded there, like Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
And David Bowie's been there. I mean, the list goes on and on. And now you.
Yes, I'm very.
So the list continues.
Yeah, we played there the first time a year ago, and we played there twice. And not only do we sell it out, I'm not bragging.
You can brag, it's okay.
But there's an old saying: "What else is a horn for?" They actually had to take the wall out of the back. Like usually they keep the back wall. Well, that wall went out, and we sold it to the glass street.
Oh my goodness!
So far we've been very lucky there. The audiences have been great, and they get what we're trying to do so far.
You know, Al. It's once again I meet people like yourselves who just blow my mind with all the different talents that you have.
Thank you.
And you are an actor, as I know you of, and you've done a lot of great things acting, The Sopranos, and the list goes on and on. We can be here forever, but we try to keep everything short and sweet.
Oh, that's very nice.
So where did you start? Did you start with acting? Or was it singing?
I remember when I was 5 years old or 4 years old. Well, I had to have been 5 because West Side Story came in 1961. I used to stand up at the Sicilian barbers with my father, and I would sing to the barbers standing on the chair. So I guess I started with music. But, you know, I'm not just saying this. I'm not. These talents that you're so nice to say that I have, they're not talents. I've acquired them over decades through practicing.
That's
wonderful.
wonderful.
Not joking, including the acting. Like, talent is an end result of repetitive work. End of story.
Wow.
And anybody who thinks differently, they're making excuses for not following their dream. Because let's take Barbra Streisand. You know, when she was 13, she had an incredible mouth and sinuses and a nose, so her voice was fantastic.
Right.
If that woman didn't work her butt off for the next 40 years, if she smoked cigarettes and hung out and did drugs and didn't practice, she would have lost that talent that she had when she was 14. By the time she was 29,
That's so
she would
true.
have no voice. So talent is an absolute result of work, which comes as the result of a positive attitude to just get it done. And if you get it done, you're going to have a career.
You know, that's so true, and it's so wonderful that you're sharing that with us, because too many people give up short, right?
Oh,
they try to a short point. They think everything is just digest a pill and you get a result.
No.
But the reality is you do have to work, regardless of what the career you're looking to ascertain.
Totally. You have to, and also like our country. In the old days, it used to be about work. The workers thrived. The whole people who worked the most became the celebrated individuals. Now, like, you have politicians out there saying, "Don't work. Other people will pay for it. Don't strive to go to school. Don't strive to get A's. Other people will pay for it. Don't worry. What the hell is this?" You know, work is everything. And you know, there was an old saying. A guy, Jeffrey Tambor. Remember Jeffrey Tambor? He was not only, got Deborah Renard over there, he was not only our classmate, but he was one of our teachers.
It's wonderful.
I studied with this guy for 16 years called Milton Katselis, and that's where Deborah Renard and I met my singing partner in this thing. But they used to go like this all the time. Are you married? Like, if this is your marriage, right? Hold your arm out. This is your marriage. Relax your arm. Your marriage is over. And that's an analogy or a symbol for everything in your life. You have to work at everything. Everything. And if you work at it, most of the time it'll work out. You know, unless you're like, you know, unless you get hit by a meteor or something. But,
we'll try to keep those out of bay.
Yeah.
So when you sing it at the barber, And you realize at what age do you say, I'm going into acting? What got you into acting? Was it school? Was it once again you had a presence of seeing somebody on television or in a movie and inspired you?
I'll tell you exactly what happened. It was 1968 at the Nanuet Mall Cinema by the Hungry Lion restaurant in Rockland County. And I saw a movie called Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
I remember that movie.
And I didn't know what a director did. I wasn't even sure if those people were acting or if they were real, to tell you the truth. But I didn't care. I was like, I want to do that. Like, whatever those people are doing, I want to do that. Well, I was 12. I wasn't a 100% committed actor until 1988. 66, 76, 80. I was 32. So it took from the time I was 12 till the time I was 32 to collect the courage. And that's what it was, courage to say, screw everyone who tells me I might not make it, who it's rough, that I'm too Italian or I'm too short or I'm too tall. I was like, I'm doing this no matter what anyone thinks or anyone says. And once I made that decision, the rest kind of would fall in place. It was funny. And I remember when I made that decision, I was pretty old. And I was like, I'm going to die a poor old man trying to be an actor, or I'm going to be an actor.
You know,
and that decision did it.
You bring up another point, is fear. And at 30, believe it or not, from my eyes, that's actually pretty young to get over fear. There's people in their 40s and their 50s still fearing what everybody else is thinking about them, or still fearing to take that leap of faith, as we all know to say, into something and not find their passion. And one of the things I try to help, and what you're doing for us, and that's the whole premise of No Excuses, is people like yourselves to emphasize the importance of find your passion and not live in fear.
You have one life. I did have help. I found an acting teacher in 1984 that was like, he was like the Vince Lombardi of acting coaches. No, seriously.
That's wonderful.
I mean, it's the word ostentatious for me to say, but I think he probably was the best acting teacher on planet Earth at that time. This guy was amazing. And if it weren't for him, I don't know if I would have gotten over that fear. I don't know if I would have gotten that understanding of the attitude I should have. But he taught it's all attitude. It's all if you have a positive attitude, and your attitude is, I'm just going to work. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to be scared. I'm not going to make excuses. I'm not going to stay in bed. I'm going to get up in the morning and I'm going to, study as an actor and write directors and write casting people and do the work. If you do the work, you will have a result. Even if it's 8 years later. It just work. It's like karma. And then you're putting this energy out. So I was lucky enough to have that guy. And it took him, I started with him in 84, like I said. It wasn't until 88 that I was like, I'm doing this.
Good for you.
So I wish that for everyone. And one other thing, if what's the name of the show?
No Excuses.
I love that.
Thank you.
That. So let me tell you one other thing. If people out there if you want to go into the arts, and especially if you want to be an actor, this is what you have to understand. Look at and think of how many working actors there are in the United States. But don't let any of this deter you. But think, how many working actors there are? How many working lawyers? How many working doctors? And you have to work. If you're going to go in the arts, if you're a musician, if you're an actor, you have to work harder than your friends in medical school.
That's right.
And they work 70 hours a week. And they're in residency. They make them sleep in the hospital on 3-day shifts. You have to work harder than your doctor friends. You have to. One, to sustain, even if you catch a break, you have to sustain it. Like these jobs, no job lasts more than like 12 years, no series or whatever.
So true.
You have to sustain it. So you just have, if you get that work ethic, and like people say there's no guarantees in show business, there's no guarantees, I'll tell everyone out there, if you put 10 solid years of working, 60, 70 hours a week, and then have a shit job to support it also, so you're really working 80 hours a week.
That's correct.
You can have a career. You may not be Robert De Niro, but you'll make $350,000 a year, and you'll be able to do what you love.
And that's more than comfortable.
Totally.
As today's standards.
Dude, it's fine, and you'll be doing what you love, which means you're going to be happy most of the day. You don't need to go shopping and buy shit because you're happy at work.
You know, you bring up another very important point. You talked about positivity and what an amazing energy that is. Yeah. Because that's a game changer, right? Misery wants company, and then people wonder why things aren't going where they want it to go, because, as you said before, they're not being positive, they're being negative. But if you're going to be positive, you're going to meet people like you, Al. You're going to gravitate, and more positive people will gravitate, and then your surroundings is going to help lift you up to the career that you're discussing.
You're so right. I mean, being positive, it's so important. And don't hang around people that complain. Don't hang around people that are negative all the time. I mean, just listen. You know, you have interactions with people like, oh, you're not gonna be able to do that. Or, hey, you can't do that. That's not gonna work. Don't waste your time. Stay home alone and just, you know, read your scripts, practice. Don't be around negative people. And when you're positive, people like you.
Exactly.
They like to be around, and
that's
they react to it. They react positively.
Sorry, one of the things I share with our audience is, I call it our 3 Ps, my 3 Ps. Find your passion, stay consistently positive, and be persistent with the first 2 we just talked about.
I like that a lot.
And that'll provide you a no excuses lifestyle.
I like that a lot.
Thank you. What's next for Al?
I'm filming right now with Christoph Waltz, you know, Academy Award winner for and Liam Hemsworth. He's been in the news with, what is it, Miley Cyrus, but he's actually a good actor, a serious professional guy, incredibly handsome and really nice. He's a good kid. I'm doing a show called A Most Dangerous Game.
Okay.
And this is how crazy our society is. The show, if you're in Detroit and you need money, Christoph Waltz will arrange for 5 people to hunt you for 24 hours. And if you survive, you get $24 million.
Okay.
But if you die, you get like $1 million an hour, so at least it'll go to your family and you'll leave them. And they're not allowed to use guns, but they can kill you any other way.
Interesting.
We got some culture. Who's the showrunner on this? That's a great idea. Who thought? Oh, one of the writers from Prison Break, which I was on, Nick Santoro.
Okay.
He's the creator and the showrunner on this thing. He thought of it, and yeah, it's good. I mean,
remind me to stay on the other side of the bar with him.
Yeah, definitely. Did you see Prison Break?
Yes.
So Nick was one of the head writers on that. And then as soon as I finish that, I have a movie on tonight. But then again, tonight doesn't mean anything in video time. I have a Lifetime movie on tonight.
Excellent.
Called Erasing His Dark Past. And then right after that, I have a pilot coming on BET, Black Entertainment Television, called Sacrifice with Paula Patton. And as soon as I finish filming this, I'm filming something called, with Kelsey Grammer.
Okay.
About, oh my God, I don't even know the name of it. They just sent me the script. But I'm filming that next. It takes place in a 747 in the air. And it's some kind of like crazy gambling script. It sounded really good.
It sounds awesome. You know, Al, this is such a wonderful treat for me to meet you, watching you throughout all these different movies and seeing you multiple personalities. But through all those personalities, you seem like a whole genuine guy, even though you're acting. And seeing you now and spending time with you just show true everything I thought of it.
And you remind me of a Cuomo brother, but not Fredo. No, you look like one of the Cuomos. People tell you that all the time.
Well, usually they tell me I look like Donny Osmond. So I said if I had a nickel for every time, I'd be more rich than Utah.
It was a pleasure.
Al, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for watching No Excuses. Anytime. Great seeing you, Al. We'll see you again, folks. Don't forget the 3 Ps. Take care, everybody.
Supposed to look in the camera, right? How you doing? What do you want to talk about?
I don't want to do anything. We're done.